Hey guys, Corey from the Gorilla Pit Training, Nutrition and Lifestyle. Welcome to today's episode of the Daily Pit. What we're going to cover today with the help of Matty Mac is the reason that you still might have chicken legs and overcoming the chicken leg problem. Now what we're going to chat about today guys is the squat, the Mac Daddy of all leg exercises, where most people go wrong and how you can improve this. Alright, so Matty's going to jump underneath the bar, and as we go through I'll make the demonstrations of the common mistakes and how to fix them guys. Alright. So for this one, for the purposes, Matty's going to come out from the rack, guys. Whenever you're doing a squat, please face in on the rack. It's just so much more safer, but this is for a demonstration so you guys can see what's going on. So Matty's going to take the weight. Now the biggest problem, guys, when we're starting to squat is not creating tension. It's an exercise that you learn very early in I guess, your lifting career. And what happens is you just start to mimic the motions. You're just bending at the knees, bending at the hips, and that's generally all the sort of all the cues that you get. All right, bend your knees, bend your hips, like you're going to sit down, then you stand back up. Yeah, I'm sure you've all heard that before. But realistically, that's just going through the motions, and we're not loading the legs. So if Matty's just doing a normal squat on that, just bending the knees, bending at the hips, and driving back up, there's very minimal tension created through the legs. There is going to be a byproduct of tension to create the movement, to generate the movement, but he's not actually doing what needs to happen to create effective tension to tear those muscle fibers apart. So what we're going to do, guys, I'm going to ask Matty to corkscrew the floor, okay? So it's like he's trying to separate the floor. What he's trying to do with his knees is he's going to roll them out like against an imaginary wall, and he's going to start to drag his heels in like he's dragging them into to touch without moving his feet. You can see straight away now, Matty's legs are flexed, and that's what we want to keep, guys. We want to keep that flexed leg or that tense leg all the way through the range of motion. Now we're not just moving up and down, we're creating force through that muscle, then we're adding load with the barbell, which is essentially what we want to do. We don't want to just add load, we want to add force under tension. So now when he starts to complete the rep, he's got constant tension. It's a controlled motion, so he's not just dropping down and driving back up. All right, which brings us to number 2. Second biggest thing with squats, guys, is we do not control on the way down and we bounce out of the pocket. So what I mean by that is we go nice and deep and then we slingshot out of that movement, okay, which once again is dangerous. We don't want to generate that force because it's not the required muscles that's stopping the deceleration and then changing momentum up. So we don't want to slingshot out of that where we're stretching and using that stretch reflex to bounce up. We want to control the movement, take the weight down, still tension on the legs, we pause, we take the momentum out, and then we drive. So we're taking the full force of that through our initiating working muscles. And then the last thing, guys, is to keep the intensity high. Too many people rest at the top of a squat. They lose tension. So they'll come up, if they're doing everything right, they'll come up, and then they'll stand there, they'll catch their breath, they've locked out, there's no actual tension. What we want to do, we want to go up, we want to get the squeeze, but Matty's legs are still under tension. So we're not letting the legs rest at any point through this squat. Once again, we're squatting here for size and to burn fuel. We're not squatting here for power and strength, so we're not going really heavy where we can take that pause at the top to get out the most amount of reps at a heavy weight, all right? We want constant tension throughout the whole lift, so we're going to get the most, I guess, damage and tears throughout that muscle, guys. So 3 things: create tension, corkscrew that floor away, separate the floor, create tension, dropping down control, don't bounce out of the pocket, so stop the movement at the bottom, take out momentum, change momentum, use the correct muscles to drive up, and don't rest at the top. So guys, implement these 3 next tips on your squatting day, and let's start to see how these legs start to grow. Thanks, Matty Mac. If you like this, guys, you got something out of it, give us a like, give us a share. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments section below, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Thanks.